Some people think that keeping reptiles is like living with danger in a box. They hear snake, they think venom. They hear lizard, they think disease. Reptiles have been demonized for centuries. Movies, myths, and media paint them as killers, villains, and monsters. But how much of that is just fear of the unknown? This is Alice, a roughly 5.5 foot long Bredl's carpet python from Australia. And today, her as well as the rest of our snakes are gonna take you through the facts and myths about whether or not it's dangerous or risky to keep a snake like Alice in your house. Okay, let's break down the 3 biggest factors. Fear number 1, they'll bite you. Fear number 2, reptiles will give you a disease.
9 people have been hospitalized and 1 person has died.
Fear number 3, in my opinion, the craziest of all, they are unpredictable or maybe even evil. You're not evil, are you, Alice? But okay, let's be real. There are risks, just like with any animal, but I'm gonna show you right now how to avoid all of those. Risk number 1 was getting bitten by a snake, lizard, or any reptile for that matter. The easiest way to avoid this is to understand what is causing the animal to bite in the first place. Are you doing something wrong? Is it fight or flight? Is it hunger? What is exactly going on? This right here, this is a food bite. This means that the animal was not trying to actually get to you, it was actually trying to get its food, or maybe even thought you were food. That is not an animal acting maliciously, it's an animal acting curiously, to be honest. But for an animal with no arms or legs, the only way they have an ability to check things out is with their face. And this is just kind of a bad idea to begin with. And yeah, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Oh my God, this is you.
One more for you. This right here, this is taken out of context. We have no idea what happened before the bite even happened. All we see is a guy wrapped up with a snake, and it looks terrifying. I'm not gonna lie to you, but honestly, they're making a much bigger deal out of it than it needed to be, and chances are that the person wasn't handling the snake right to begin with. Now, every animal in every situation is different, but if you can start figuring out what's causing your snake to bite, we can figure out a way to stop it from biting you completely. If your snake's hungry, easy. You just gotta make sure you're feeding it more often. Typically, a snake like a ball python here is gonna eat every 7 to 10 days, and the meal size is gonna depend on the size of your animal. But if every time you come into the room and the snake is searching around its enclosure, or maybe even keying in on you and looking at you like your food, chances are it just wants a little bit of something to eat. So go to the pet store, go grab some frozen thawed food, and feed your little ball python or corn snake or whatever you have at home.
Can reptiles bite? Of course they can. So can your dog, your cat, your hamster, your pet bird. And a lot of the times, those bites are actually going to be a lot worse than a simple snake bite. Although snake bites can look a little bit scary, they're not as scary as they might seem. They rarely do bite, and a lot of the times that comes from misreading the animal, a little bit of mishandling, or sometimes just an accidental food bite. Working with reptiles, hundreds of reptiles, not a single bite really left that many marks. I don't have any scars to prove that I've been bitten by snakes. Maybe some lizard scratches here and there, but that's about it.
If the bites are being caused by some type of fight or flight, some type of defensiveness within the animal, really, it's gonna take some time. You have to get it adjusted to being around you or your dogs or your cat or whatever's going on. You see the boys in here with the snakes all the time. From a young age, they were all together, seeing each other and getting desensitized to one another.
Hey, sit. Good boy, lay down. If you're ever afraid of your snake biting you, there are ways around it too to kind of get them used to you handling them and you used to your snake's behaviors. Remember, they're just as afraid of you as you are of them. You're going into their home with these big grabby hands and they have no idea what the heck is happening. Couple of good handling sessions every now and again will definitely help tame your snake out.
Parthenax here, like I said, I've had this guy for 10 years now and he is super sweet, but when we first got him, he was a little nippy. But every day we would go in, we would take him out of his enclosure, and we would try to kind of work our hands up the neck closer to the face before he would freak out. Isn't that right? He's so cute. If they flinch, don't worry. They're not gonna try to bite you. They're just a little bit scared. So keep working at it. Eventually that head shyness will go away and your animal won't be willing to bite because it's afraid of you anymore. And the number one thing, guys, is to end on a good note. When you put your animal back in its enclosure, it shouldn't be because you're afraid of it. Because what did you just teach that animal? You taught it that if it bites you, it's gonna go home and be safe and not have to be near you anymore. That is not what we're trying to reinforce here. We want good, happy, little cute snakes that you could sit right on your couch or maybe even your head. By the way, this is why ball pythons are like one of my favorite snakes. Boas sometimes will do the same thing too, but they'll just plop wherever you put them and it's super adorable. Look at this dude. Risk number 2 was that they can give you diseases. And while salmonella with reptiles is definitely a real thing,
it's on store-bought lettuce and chicken. It's all about how you handle it, making sure you're hygienic with everything. Yeah, it's in snake poop, but you go wash your hands. Wash your hands before and after, just for safety reasons. You don't want to transmit things between your animals too, and it's really just that easy.
The only way you're gonna get salmonella from a snake snake is through its digestive tract. So if you get some type of digestive material, i.e. pee or poop on your hands or in your mouth or something like that. Maria and I have been working with snakes for 10 plus years now, and I've been less than perfectly hygienic, and I've never had an issue. Things that live in their own water where they would pee and poop are gonna be more likely to give you that problem. But an animal like a ball python here, I mean, is super safe. I'd say even more safe than preparing a chicken Caesar salad, if you will. So just make sure you clean your hands before and after handling your little snake friends, and you're gonna have no problem with diseases whatsoever. Real quick, guys, I wanted to let you guys know, in literally a couple of days, Maria, the boys, and myself are heading down to St. Louis for the soft open of the Reptile Room STL. That's right, that cool place I went and visited a few weeks back, they're having their soft open, guys. So if you're in the St. Louis area or anywhere nearby and you wanna see Maria, myself, Mo, Tarantula Cat, a bunch of other people, or you just wanna come see the amazing place that Mo's building out there, the weekend of August 16th is their soft open. So make sure you come by, show some love, show some support, because I know Mo is so excited to share his passion and love of animals with you guys. I cannot wait, and I'm so excited to be taking our first trip with the entire family. Another huge risk with reptiles, and especially with snakes, is escapes.
You can't cut corners when it comes to your enclosures either. That's why we have locking lids with clips and other locking mechanisms on the rest of our enclosures. We double check everything before we leave the room, because snakes are actually really smart. Regardless of how nice you make their enclosure, they're gonna want to try to get out. Snakes can squeeze through really tight spaces. Sure, we've all experienced an escape before, right?
We are nowhere near perfect people, and when we first started keeping ball pythons, we had a time where one of our tiny little baby ball pythons got out, and this was at a time where my mom wasn't super comfortable with snakes. My stepdad was definitely not. Of course, luck would have it, it ended up in their room, behind their dresser, within a file, actually. Yeah, it was definitely not what we wanted. We were, one, super scared because we didn't want anything to happen to our new baby snake. Other, where are you going, buddy? Okay, sorry, hold on, I gotta fix my hat. And two, we didn't want the snake getting into our parents' room. We literally just convinced them to allow us to have them there. And now one's free roaming the house, not good. But if you check on your animals all the time and you make sure that their enclosures are locked and you have good locks on them, there's no way you're gonna have an escapee. For your number 3, they are unpredictable or maybe even evil. Now let me just say, there is nothing about a reptile that is evil. They're instinctual and they use body language to communicate, which is different than humans or most mammals, right? That will communicate with like sounds. But a snake like Parthenax here has not an evil bone in its body. Evil's a human thing, not a reptile thing. Snakes and all reptiles for that matter are really just trying to survive, and we put them into a weird world and they don't know exactly what's going on. So it might take some time to get your snake cute enough to where you can put your nose up to it, but there is no evil lurking in this guy here or any snake or reptile or animal for that matter. Isn't that right, Parthenax? In order to fix the feeling that snakes or reptiles in general are evil or dangerous, honestly, a lot of the times it comes down to knowledge. You guys know, Brian would always say, don't fear, respect. Because the opposite of fear is knowledge, and if you know about something, you're less likely to fear it. So make sure you do your homework. If you want a reptile, but you're kind of on the fence of, ooh, is this thing evil or it's gonna hurt me? Learn about them, and you're gonna realize there is no evil within reptiles or any animal for that matter. And you'll also understand the ways of how to interact with that animal without getting hurt. I just reach into their enclosure and grab them out, but I've also known these animals for a long time. I wouldn't be doing that to an animal I don't know. One of the other major things people are afraid of with reptiles is, are they venomous and can they send me to the hospital? Most reptiles are non-venomous, and most reptile keepers are not keeping venomous stuff. So you really have nothing to worry about, especially if you do your research and you know what animal you're getting. A ball python like this here can barely give you a pinprick, let alone send you to the hospital. And if you're gonna keep venomous, you already better have a bunch of regular non-venomous animals that you've worked with for a long time, understood their body language. I mean, really guys, look at this cute little face. It doesn't want to hurt you one bit. So are reptiles actually dangerous at all? Keeping any animal or really doing almost anything in your life is dangerous if you don't do it correctly. But if you take the proper steps of taking care of your animal and working with it every day and learning about its behavior, you could be sitting on the couch watching the video you're watching right now with this little guy wrapped up on your thumb, and how cute is that?
And it's not about locking them away and kind of forgetting about them. It's about giving them the most happy and enriching life possible. You want to make sure you get to spend time with them too and love them for what they are.
Snakes and reptiles are not toys, they're not dogs, and they're wild at heart. But with knowledge and respect, consistency, and care, they're some of the safest animals you can keep. They're hypoallergenic, they're pretty clean animals. I mean, if you can take care of their pees and poops, literally don't even have a smell to them whatsoever. And you're much more likely to get sent to the hospital from a dog bite or a cat scratch than any injury you would get from a ball python or a corn snake or something like that. So guys, let me know in the comments comments what you think about a video like this. Did this shift your opinion on reptiles at all? And if it did, share this with a friend or your mom or whoever that's afraid of snakes in your life so that we can get more people loving these guys and save them in captivity as well as in the wild. Also, let me know down below, what's a reptile you've always wanted and who's the one that's keeping you from having it? And if this video gets 5,000 likes, I'll do more videos like this where we kind of go over some facts, bust some myths about all of our favorite animal friends. Because in the end, reptiles deserve to be loved and cared for just like every animal on the planet. But for now, speaking of the end,